Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Please confirm to me, guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. To check all of you guys. All of you get my voice on screen. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. All right. Good morning, guys. And check it what we completed in the last session. I think so. We are discussing about driver and its requirement and what exactly the definition of the driver. These topics we are understanding. All right, sir. If you observe the points what we completed in the last session, first we have given JDBC definitions. What are the various JDBC definitions here we provided here? JDBC is a step-by-step process to interact with the databases from Java applications in order to perform database operations from Java applications. This is one thing. Second one is JDBC is a technology, not a programming language. It can be used to connect with the database from Java applications in order to perform database operations from Java applications. So JDBC is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems, and its implementations are provided by all the database vendors in order to connect with the database from Java applications and in order to perform database operations from Java applications. This definition is required number of times. Even in the future also I'm going to use this definition. So what I said to you clearly, JDBC is an abstraction. What is the meaning of this abstraction, guys? Abstraction in the sense, just JDBC is provided. Sun Microsystem has provided JDBC as an abstraction in the sense, is a collection of interfaces. Max a collection of interfaces. Examples like what there, driver is an interface, connection is an interface, statement is an interface, prepared statement is an interface, result set is an interface, result set metadata is an interface, database metadata is an interface, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So many interfaces collection is provided by Sun Microsystems as an abstraction. Understand it clearly. Then after that, Sun Microsystems has given an option to all the database vendors to provide their own implementation classes to the JDBC abstraction. Their own implementation for JDBC abstraction. As part of this, all the database vendors have taken the responsibility to provide their own implementation for JDBC abstraction. So Oracle has provided its own implementation for JDBC in the form of OJDBC 8.jar file, OJDBC 9.jar file, like this. Some jar files are available. Inside this jar file, the total implementation is provided for what they know, that JDBC abstraction. MySQL has provided its own implementation for JDBC abstraction in the form of another jar file in its product. That would be like what there, MySQL connector Java, some version name .jar file. So in the form of that jar file, the total implementation was provided by MySQL vendor. Similarly, DB2, similarly Sybase, similarly some other, whatever the databases are available, all the database vendors have provided their own implementation for this JDBC abstraction. Right? Already we understood that. For our understanding purpose, I have given one use case, one example. What is that example there? Some franchises are going on in outside. Any brand franchises are available. They are able to give only directions only. They will not give any implementation part, but they will give only directions. No, Then if you want to implement that, take the directions, then implement the product. Best example is a KFC franchise, for example. If you take that KFC franchise, no, that KFC franchises are available from US or Australia, somewhere else. They had their own formula of creating the material, and they are giving some guidelines, rules and regulations and guidelines to the people, those who want to take that franchise. Just they have given only directions as well as formula. That's it. And they are not going to give direct product food items directly to the customers. No, but the people, those who are taken franchises, no, they have to follow the rules and regulations of the KFC what they provided, and they have to follow the same formula what KFC has given to prepare this food item, and they have to sell the customer. They have to sell their food item to the target customers only, not to everybody. Understand my point, Ken? Even if you want to take franchise for this KFC, and if you want to locate, if you want to put one stall at any location, there they are giving some rules and regulations. What are the rules and regulations there? Your outlet should be minimum 2,500 square feet. Minimum 2,500 square foot minimum. And your outlet should have minimum parking, some parking, 1,000 square feet or maybe 2,000 square feet parking is mandatory. And from one outlet to another outlet, nearly 1.5 kilometer distance is maximum, is required. Between two outlets, nearly 1.5 kilometer is required. There also be some categories are available: A group, A category, B category, and C category. So on the basis of that, that means they are giving some, they have defined their own rules and regulations there now. So if you want to take branches and if you want to keep that KFC outlet, then definitely we have to follow all these rules and regulations, all these conventions what they have provided. So KFC franchisers have given a set of rules and regulations and a formula for preparing food items only. They declared part only they are providing. But the people, those who have started their outlet for this KFC, they have to implement really that, and they have to prepare the food items as per that guidelines only. Then automatically customers, you can sell that food item to the respective customers now. This is what exactly the story. So where KFC franchises are giving an abstraction, then the people, those who have taken franchises, no, those who want to keep some outlets in outside, they have to implement that abstraction. That's it. Now that is what exactly the meaning of abstraction and implementation part here. Right. Next one is after that. Then after understanding this point here, another point what I'm telling there, after understanding the JDBC definitions, no, next one is what is going to be happen inside the JDBC applications. What exactly the work is going to be happen inside the JDBC applications. If you observe this particular point, answer is very clear. In JDBC applications, we have to provide the following actions. Provide database logic in Java applications as per the Java representations. Then after that, send a Java represented database logic to the database engine. At a database engine has to execute the database logic. It has to perform operations on database, and it has to generate some results back to the Java application. This is what we are expecting in JDBC. In JDBC applications, we have to keep database logic in Java program as per Java representations. After that, send that Java represented database logic to the database now. At the database engine will has to execute that logic, and it has to perform some database operations. After that, it has to generate some results back to the respective Java application. Next one is in the above context, database will not execute the Java represented database logic. Why? Because database engine will not understand Java representations. Database engine will understand only database representations. That means query languages API. JVM is able to understand Java API. Similarly, database engine is able to understand only query languages API. So JVM is not understanding database representations directly, and a database engine is not understanding Java representations directly. So definitely some miscommunication is going on here in this particular scenario. Right, sir. Now the next point here, what I have given there, in the above context, to execute JDB's applications, we need a translator to translate from Java representations to database representations, and from database representations to Java representations. Here the translator is called as what? The driver. So what exactly the meaning of the driver here we understood clearly. Now try to observe carefully. JDBC driver is an interface. JDBC driver is what there is an interface existed in between Java application and database. JDBC driver is an interface existed in between Java application and a database. For what purpose it is available there now? It able to map Java representations to database representations and from database representations to Java representations, vice versa. Right, sir. To provide a driver, what Sun Microsystems has done there, Sun Microsystems has provided an interface in the form of java.sql.driver, and Sun Microsystems has given an option to all the database vendors to provide their own implementation for driver interface. The same thing, what we have seen in the JDBC abstraction and its implementations, part of that only driver interface was provided by Sun Microsystems and implementations are provided by all the database vendors. All right, sir. With the above convention, with this particular convention, Oracle has provided its own implementation class for driver interface, that is in the form of like what there, oracle.jdbc.oracle driver. Next one, similarly, MySQL has provided an implementation class in the form of com.mysql.cj.jdbc.driver. Like this, all the database vendors have provided their own implementation classes. All database vendors have provided their own driver implementations in their respective database softwares or in their respective websites. Or in their respective database softwares or in their respective websites. Either we can identify the driver class in the respective database software, or we can identify that from what they know from the websites here. Observe carefully. Next one, as per the JDBC application, developer, what we have to do there? Then what we have to do, if you are the JDBC application developer, definitely we need some driver. Am I right or not? Definitely we need what they know, some driver. We need to have some driver. So where the developer has to search for the driver, where JDBC application developer has to search for the driver, he has to search for the driver exactly in the database software what we are using, or else in the respective database vendor website there, in the respective database vendor website or in the database software, we have to search for the respective driver. Answer my point clearly now. Right, sir. If it is not existed, if it is not existed in the database software, if it is not existed in the database software, then search for it from the respective website. So finally, as you are the JDBC application developer, we have to search for the driver in the database software, or if it is not available in the database software, then we have to search for it in the database vendor's website. At least in the websites itself, we are able to get the respective content. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? Right. So this is the total awareness. Here we are able to get what we understood clearly. Finally, one conclusion to all of you guys. One conclusion. Driver is an interface provided by Sun Microsystems and its implementation classes are provided by database vendors, Oracle vendor or MySQL vendor, Postgres SQL vendor, DB2 vendor, whatever it may be. Right, sir. Now understand clearly, with this convention, with the above convention, almost all the database vendors, have provided their own implementation for driver, almost all the database vendors have provided their own implementation for the driver, but all these drivers are divided into the following groups. But all these drivers are divided into the following groups. Answer my point clearly. All these drivers are divided into the following groups. What are the various groups are available over the drivers? No. First one is type 1 driver, and second one is type 2 driver, and third one is type 3 driver, and fourth one is type 4 driver. Guys, all of you observe carefully. And the very latest one, but not utilized frequently, but it is also existed here. That is like what I am telling there, no, type 5 driver. This is a type 5 driver. I will discuss with you later on, not immediately. Why? Because at present, in the overview of these drivers, this is a type 5 driver you may not understand immediately. There we need some information about the JDBC and all, then only you are able to understand it. So in the middle of the JDBC, or whenever I'm trying to discuss about this driver, type 5 driver, there I will discuss about complete information of this type 5 driver. Understand, guys, what I'm telling you know. So because of this reason, what I'm telling there, overall, these are the 5 groups are existed. That fifth one is not 100%ly available in outside here, but only one implementation is available. That too, that is in development mode only, not in production mode, not in the client home. Right? Understand my point here. So not suggestible even to use that in our application development. Right, sir. Out of all these drivers, no, the driver which is used frequently, the driver which is used frequently, the driver which is used by default in enterprise applications or in JDBC applications is what their type 4 driver. Type 4 driver. Everybody, understand my point here now. Even this topic is not required to discuss the total content here. Even this entire thing, as per my responsibility, I'm going to discuss that. But at present, as per the situation now, at present situation, as per that present situation, only one driver information only we are going to understand, that is sufficient, not required to go for each and every driver. Why? Because almost all of them are outdated, or some of them are providing less performance, or some of them are not having complete implementations. But only one driver is utilized effectively in our enterprise applications. That is what their type 4 driver. If I discuss only that one, that is more than sufficient. But anyway, as per our responsibility, we are going to see some content over all the types of drivers. Now, this is overview of the drivers only. Don't expect immediately I'm going to use all 5 drivers in our JDBC applications. Just I'm giving overview of all the drivers I'm giving there. But when the concepts are required, when the situations are required, there I'm able to use what they know, type 1 driver, maybe all the drivers information here. Depending on the situation, I plan to use all the drivers now. Understand my point here? But maybe up to the end of the JDBC, then what I'm able to show there, maybe I can show some programming part with the type 1 driver, but it is outdated, not required, but I will show that. Type 2 driver, I will show there. Type 3 driver, depending on the situation, but not guarantee. Why? Because some other softwares we have to install in our system, the softwares may be supported, may not be supported at present here. But depending on the situation, I can show that. But type 4 driver, in general, we are going to use that. Type 5 driver, in the middle of the, or maybe at the end of the JDBC, I will discuss there now. Maximum drivers I can cover, no issues for it. But some drivers are outdated. Whether they are supporting for the present Java versions or not, that we have to check anyway. As per that, I'm going to discuss with you clearly. Anyway, out of all these things, I'm sure about it, type 4 driver. This is mandatory for us. With that only, we are going to work maximum. Total 90% of the JDBC programs we are going to prepare with the type 4 driver only. That's why right from beginning we are going to understand it. But depending on the situation, we are going to use either of these drivers clearly. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my points, Kirno? Right. See, some drivers are operating system dependent also. They are supporting only Windows operating system. In Windows operating systems also, 32-bit operating systems. But nowadays, all operating systems are which operating systems? No, 64-bit operating system, where I can bring the 32-bit operating system now. In a 64-bit operating system, may be supported, may not be supported. But in the initial days of the JDBC, the driver is okay, worked out. By the time 32-bit operating systems are available, but at present, every operating system is what there, 64-bit. But how much it is supported in that, that I have to check here. But because of that reason, I'm telling you, depending on the situation or depending on the requirement, I'm going to use this driver's information clearly. Yes, all of you are getting my points or not? All right, guys. Now let's understand the content here. Next one here. After completion of this, try to understand it. Now we are going to start one by one, all the drivers clearly. Up to this typhoid drivers we are going to understand. Typhoid driver we are going to see in the future. Right, sir. Max, from this particular topic, what questions here we are able to get in interviews now? Max, we are able to get only one question. That question is, tell me what is driver and what is its requirement in JDBC applications. That's it. Nobody will ask to you the questions, how many types of drivers are available and what is the purpose of type 1 driver, what is type, no, nobody will ask these types of drivers. Why? Because first of all, interviewers are not available to all these types now. Why? Because they are not using all these drivers in their applications. Max, in their point of view, driver in the sense type 4 driver only. They knows about only type 4 driver only. They didn't have any environment to work with the remaining drivers. So because of that reason, not required to understand all the drivers. But still I will give some information to you. Don't worry for it. Now let's come for this type 1 driver. What exactly the meaning of type 1 driver? Why this driver is coming into the picture? What is its nature? That all the things here we have to understand. Right, sir. All of you understand this point, no? All of you observe carefully this point here. For example, I'm taking these courses here, classes here I'm taking now. Observe carefully. I'm taking these classes, right? One topic I want to start. A simple topic here I want to start. Observe carefully. I want to start a simple topic. Right. In the topic, just theoretical information I explained. Say for example, multi-threading topic. In multi-threading, inter-thread communication, the theory I have given, required theory I have given. Then I'm asking a question to you that before that I given producer consumer problems are solved. This type of problems are solved with inter-thread communication. Then immediately you may have question, what is producer consumer problem? Then immediately after that I have given an assignment to you, not an assignment, then work I have given to you. Please prepare the program to provide inter-thread communication by using wait to notify all methods. I've asked to you, please prepare a program by using wait to notify all methods. This is what exactly the assignment I have given. Then immediately, what is your response here? Multi-threading is not much simple content. Definitely some content is required. Some stuff is required to understand multi-threading. Just theoretical, I explained that. After explaining the theoretical information, I requested to all of you, try to prepare program by using wait to notify all methods. Then immediately what you are able to do, first time if you are learning that multi-threading, first time you are seeing that wait to notify all methods, what you are able to do, immediately you may request it to me or not. Please show one small program, showcase program. First show one sample program to us. Then after that we will plan to prepare my own program there. You may request it to me or not. In general, you may request it to me or not. First to show one simple program by using wait to notify all methods. And then after that, we may plan to prepare my own program as per the requirement. You may request it to me like this. Then after that, what I will do there? Okay, then why I'm giving much burden directly to the people? No, then immediately I have taken responsibility to prepare on a sample program, on a very sample program for using wait to notify all method, just by using wait method, notify all methods. All right, sir, I prepared one sample program. I shown that how to use them. One model, one showcase I've given there. When I given showcase or model to you, then immediately what happened there? No, when I give showcase or model to you, then immediately what you are able to do there, you can see the total utilization part there. Then you can prepare your own program. Am I right or not? Now tell me what is the outline of this particular situation I'm telling to you. First I given one assignment to you. Then you requested to me, please show one showcase, one model implementation. Then I prepared that, I shown that model. By seeing that model, you prepared your own programs. Am I right or not? Remember this information, keep that total scenario in one side, in our mind. Let's come for our point here. Driver is an interface provided by Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems has provided java.sql.driver as an interface, and Sun Microsystems requesting to all the database vendors to provide their own implementation. Sun Microsystems has provided only driver interface. Okay, then Sun Microsystem has given an option to, has requested to all the database vendors to provide their own implementation. Now the ball in a database vendors court. They have to prepare their own implementation, but basically they are not Java developers, right? Database vendor is their expertise in database implementations, not in Java implementation. But what Sun Microsystem is giving option to all the database vendors know to prepare implementation classes for driver interface. Understand my point? What I'm telling there? How they are able to prepare? No, they don't know anything about Java. They don't know how to prepare implementation for this. They don't know anything about it. But how they are able to prepare their own implementation? No. Understand it? Then by the time all the database vendors have requested to Sun Microsystems, all the database vendors have requested to Sun Microsystems. What is the request there? We are ready to prepare my own drivers. We are ready to prepare implementation classes for driver interface. No second thought of it. But unfortunately, we are not in Java. We are not in the way of implementing the driver interface. We don't know anything about it. So we are totally in a different platform, different background. So please provide one showcase to us how to prepare implementation for this driver. Please provide one showcase, one model implementation, one sample implementation. Please provide one sample implementation. If you provide that showcase or model implementation or sample implementation, we will observe that how you implemented that. By seeing that, you may plan to prepare my own implementation classes for your driver interface. Like this, all the database vendors have requested to Sun Microsystems. Then I said to you already, Sun Microsystems is a kind-hearted now. Every time it is wherever it is possible to provide some then free type of implementation, and Sun Microsystems will take the steps now. Then by listening the request from all the database vendors, Sun Microsystems has committed to provide one sample implementation for this java.sql.driver interface. Sun Microsystems has provided. Sun Microsystems as a provided. Please recognize this point. Sun Microsystems has provided a sample implementation or a model implementation or a showcase for a driver interface. Then by seeing that sample implementation, all the database vendors are trying to prepare their own implementation classes. In this overall scenario, in this overall conversation, what Sun Microsystems has provided a showcase, the implementation class for driver, a model implementation class for a driver interface, a simple implementation class for a driver interface. That implementation class is type 1 driver. Yes, sir. Content is clear or not? What exactly the sample implementation was provided by Sun Microsystems for a driver interface. That sample implementation is what they know, type 1 driver. Yes, getting clarity on this point here now. Now let me have one statement over this particular point here. What is this one statement here? Type 1 driver is a model or showcase or sample implementation for driver interface provided by Sun Microsystems in order to provide a platform for all the database vendors in order to prepare their own implementation. in order to prepare their own implementation. Understand it clearly what I'm telling there. So type 1 driver is a model or showcase or sample implementation for driver interface provided by Sun Microsystems in order to provide a platform for all the database vendors to prepare their own implementation classes. That's it. That's sufficient. Okay. Now understand this clearly. Next one is after that. What Sun Microsystems has provided? Type 1 driver only. But how? What exactly the type 1 driver name it has provided? I said to you, type 1 driver is a driver, right? Is an implementation class for what there no driver interface. Sun Microsystems has provided a showcase, a model implementation or a sample implementation for driver interface. Means that in the form of a class or not? In the form of a class or not? Now the point is what there? Sun Microsystems has provided type 1 driver. Sun Microsystems has provided type 1 driver. Sun Microsystems has provided type 1 driver in the form of Sun Microsystems has provided type 1 driver in the form of Sun dot JDBC dot ODBC dot Sun dot JDBC dot ODBC dot JDBC ODBC driver. This is a class and this is a package. Here, what is package name? No, Sun dot JDBC dot ODBC is a package name. Then after that, what is the driver class name here? JDBC ODBC driver. Yes, all of you are getting my point or not? All right, sir. Next, here itself, I'm confirming one more point. Try to understand this point now. Observe carefully. Sun Microsystems has given. Sun Microsystems has provided. Sun Microsystems has provided Sun dot JDBC dot ODBC dot JDBC ODBC driver support up to JDK 1.7 version. That's why I said it is an outdated. Answer my point here now. Sun Microsystems has provided sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc ODBC driver support up to which version of the Java? JDK 1.7 version. Means that I want to say directly Java 1.7. That's okay. From Java 1.8 version onwards, Sun Microsystems or Aragil Corporation, whatever it may be, Sun Microsystems has not provided type 1 driver. That means sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver support in Java. Answer my point here. Sun Microsystems has provided sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc ODBC driver support up to Java 1.7 version. From Java 1.8 version onwards, Sun Microsystems has not provided sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc ODBC driver support in Java. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? Just wait a minute of time. Already in my system, 1.7 version is existed and 1.8 onwards, maybe up to 17 version is available. Maybe 1.17 is also existed. Now let me have the change. C drive. Inside the C drive, Java. Inside the Java, then 1.7 is available. At the same time, 1.8 is also be available now. Now let me check it. In 1.7 it is available or not. Already I had some batch files in my system there to change the versions, Java versions now. Let me go for that location, CD Java 830. Now here already I can go for Java 1.7 version. Now which version of Java is available in my system at present? No, 1.7 is available. All right, sir. Now here I want to check for what there, Java P sun dot jdbc dot odbc dot jdbc odbc driver. Have I done any mistake there? Sun dot jdbc dot odbc dot jdbc odbc driver. Click on enter button. Now here we are getting the total information public class sun dot jdbc dot odbc dot jdbc odbc driver extends sun dot jdbc dot odbc dot jdbc odbc object, then implements what they know, jdbc odbc driver interface. If you see this sun dot jdbc dot odbc dot jdbc odbc driver interface now, which is extended from java dot sql dot driver. I got my point or not? Indirectly it is implemented anyway. Okay, fine. But this is a driver class which is provided by Sun Microsystems. Which version of Java I'm using there? 1.8, 1.7 version. 1.7 version, JDBC, ODBC driver class is existed or not existed? Existed here. That's fine. Now observe carefully. Which version of Java I'm using now? Which version of Java I'm using here? 1.8 version. Now here, in 1.8 version, I'm trying to get the details about the same JDBC, ODBC driver. Let me check it now. Click on enter button here. What we are getting there? Please recognize this punch here. Class not found. Sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver. What we are getting there? Class not found. What is the meaning of it now? What you understood from this by seeing this variation here now? Sun Microsystems has maintained sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver up to which version of the Java? 1.7. From 1.8 version onwards, this sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver is not existed. Understand here? Now at present, which version of Java we are using actually? We are having which version of the Java in outside there? Java 19 version. But now we are talking about which version there now? 8th version or 7th version here now. Is a totally outdated topic or not? Is totally outdated topic or not? It's totally outdated topic or not? Then immediately we have a question, sir, why you are discussing these outdated topics now? We may have one question now. Why you are discussing these outdated topics, sir? I will give one more example where that you are able to understand, you are able to change your mindset also. For example, assume yourself. Now you want to become as a film director. You want to become as a film director. You know already, right? So very good. Popular directors are available nowadays in outside. The very Mr. Perfect RGV, right? Ram Gopal Verma, right? Is a director in the sense example I'm telling to you, right? I think everybody knows about him. Maybe some people may not aware about Rajamouli, but everybody knows about RGV, Ram Gopal Verma, right? Listen, example I'm telling you. So you want to become as a film director. Now you are working with a film under the on XYZ director. For example, you are working under Rajamouli as an assistant director or maybe co-director, whatever it may be. There also some designations are available, right? So you're the fresher, you want to become as a director. So you joined with Rajamouli. Under his guidelines, you want to improve your performance, then you want to. You're in the way of becoming a director, upcoming director, for example. Now tell me, what is your minimum responsibility if you want to become as a director? Continuous monitoring is required over all the movies which are releasing. Continuous monitoring is required over all the movies which are coming into the market. What is the meaning of monitoring? No, just knowing the title and checking the story. No. Go to the theater and first you have to view that movie. Of course, that movie status is a very good hit movie, successful movie. Even though you have to go there and you have to watch it. Why that movie is success, you have to analyze. Even though the movie is totally a flop movie, but disaster movie, a flop movie. Even though it is a flop movie, then as you are the director, you have to go there, you have to watch that movie. There you have to identify why this movie is a flop movie. That analysis is required as you want to become as a director. One real instance I'm telling to you. One real example I'm telling to you. Previously, not at present, I'm busy at present. Previously, whenever I was total vacant there, I used to go for movies on first day itself, every movie. but I don't have any intention to become as a director. But my intention is different. From that movies, what advantage I'm able to get, then I will explain later on that. But I used to see all movies there. The real incidents what I have seen there, when I go to Prasad's IMAX, there, Prasad's IMAX, there, nearly 6 screens are available. Out of the 6 screens, no, 4 screens are normal screens, and a screen 5 is a totally small screen, and a screen 6 is a big screen. Big screen where all English movies or maybe animated movies or 3D movies which are going on in that big screen. Okay, but what I used to go there, I don't know what is the reason for it, but when I go to the movies, like best example is a Pushpa movie. Before that, some other movies, then where in exactly F row, in the middle row, middle row, mid. That means F row has some space to keep our legs comfortably. So some F row is available in the theater. In the F row, in the middle seat where regularly Rajamouli used to sit there. But what movies he used to see? No, all types of movies he used to see. Still, he used to see all types of movies. Best example, Pushpa is a movie. I was there at first day and first show. I was there that morning. Not exactly first show. I think so. Maybe 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. I went there. I sat in the same F row. I got a ticket. Unfortunately, somebody else has cancelled the ticket. Fortunately, I got the ticket. I went there. I sat there. Just after 3 to 4 seats, no, Rajamouli was there. That is one scenario I identified. But of course, there also is some kind of environment is going on. He's requesting all the people not to come to me, not to come for me. Unnecessary disturbance is going on. Please wait there. Like this is giving. People are coming and people are taking selfies now. So, okay, fine. That's okay. Good. Then after that, I went for some other movie. Prabhas movie, Sahu movie, I went there. Same theater. Unfortunately, I got in the same F row where I booked the ticket before that. I went there. Maybe far away, somewhat distance there. I seen there the same place, the same Rajamouli. So by the time I understood, like that 3 to 4 times I have seen that. Exactly 10 o'clock show at Prasad's IMAX only. There exactly in the screen 2, I think so. I didn't remember that effectively. Screen 2. In that screen 2, F row, middle seat. Exactly middle seat. I'm leaking that totally his information, I think so, right? What I observed, I'm telling there. By that I confirmed it. Okay, exactly same theater and same timing and every show able to come. Maximum as per his availability. If he's not available at India, might be may go for some other. Understand it here. Why I'm telling there, as you want to become as a film director, then you should know why that movie is flop and why that movie is a super hit. You have to analyze it. Then you have to assume yourself. If you are the director, then how we are going to do that? Why I'm telling all this information here? So for you, I'm telling to you, even though type 1 driver is an outdated driver, even though it's an outdated driver, as you are the learner of this Java programming language and JDBC programming language, as part of your learning process, at least one time itself we have to understand. At least one time you have to understand why this is a outdated driver, why it is a downgrade driver in JDBC applications. Yes, sir. Got my point or not? Now you are not in working environment, right? You are in learning process. Definitely, you should not say, sir, why you are discussing. Just please skip this now. Instead of that, think about it. Why it is a problem? Why this driver is giving problem there? That you have to understand minimum. Then only you are able to get completeness over the subject. Fine. Anyway, I'm giving required clarity. I hope so. You all understood what exactly the point I'm trying to say. Now try to follow our point here. Now. So finally here, Sun Microsystems has provided sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver support up to Java 1.7 version. From Java 1.8 version onwards, Sun Microsystems has not provided sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver support in Java. If we are using still the sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver in our JDBC applications, there we are able to get an exception like what there java.lang. Class not found exception. What's that exception we are able to get there? Class not found exception. So some restriction is coming or not? What is the restriction is coming there? If you want to use type 1 driver in our JDBC application, then we must use Java up to Java 7 version only. You should not use after the Java 1.8 version there. Unfortunately, if my project is going in with 1.9 version, what I have to do? Is it possible for me to use that type 1 driver in my JDBC applications? No, not possible here. No. So because of that reason only, not utilized effectively at present in outside. Leave this part here. Next, one more point I'm telling there. Observe carefully. Can you tell me, guys, what is the name of this driver class actually? JDBC ODBC driver. Can repeat it? What is that name now? JDBC ODBC driver. Let's understand it clearly. What is the meaning of it now? Sun Microsystems has provided Sun dot JDBC dot ODBC dot JDBC ODBC driver. Why this name is also becoming, I'm trying to explain now. Sun Microsystems has provided Sun dot JDBC dot ODBC dot JDBC ODBC driver with the interdependency on the Microsoft product ODBC driver. That is the point what I'm telling you. What is this actually? Now tell me. Sun Microsystems has provided Sun dot JDBC dot ODBC dot JDBC ODBC driver with the interdependent on, or with the interdependency on the Microsoft product. What is this Microsoft product? You know, ODBC driver. Understand it? No, ODBC driver will come automatically along with the Windows operating systems. It is not available with the other operating systems. First of all, tell me, guys, Java is a platform dependent programming language or platform independent programming language? Java is what their platform dependent programming language or platform independent? Platform independent programming language means that we can prepare Java program on one operating system. We can execute the Java applications on multiple operating systems or not. Different operating systems we are able to execute our Java applications or not. Okay, try to understand this point. ODBC driver is available with only which operating system now? ODBC driver is existed with only which operating system now? Microsoft product. What is this Microsoft product here now? Windows operating system. Microsoft product is what there? Windows operating system. Am I right or not? So in Windows operating system only ODBC driver is available automatically. Okay, so if we use type 1 driver in our JDBC application, as Java is a platform independent programming language, then automatically some condition will come to our JDBC program. What is that condition? They know your program must be executable. Your program must be executed under only which operating system? No, under only which operating systems? No, Windows only. That means Microsoft products only. So our JDBC application must be restricted up to Microsoft products only. It is not available to multiple operating systems. It's not available to multiple operating systems. That is one point here we have to highlight. Then another point here, what I am telling there, observe carefully. With the above reason, if you want to use type 1 driver, in JDBC applications, if you want to use type 1 driver in JDBC applications, then we have to install ODBC driver. We have to install ODBC driver in our system. That is extra headache for us. Okay, then what next one here? Another point I'm telling there. What is this ODBC driver now? ODBC driver is a open specification to connect with databases from JDBC. That means databases from type 1 driver. It's an open specification or open product. Simply speaking, open product or open specification, right, sir? To connect with the databases from type 1 driver. Answer my point here. Then after that, what next point here I'm telling to you? Observe carefully. So due to the due to the due to the interdependency due to the interdependency on the Microsoft product ODBC driver, due to the interdependency on the Microsoft product ODBC driver, then what is the point I'm telling you? No, type 1 driver is very much compatible with only the Microsoft products, like Windows operating system. Yes, sir. My points are clear or not? So point is very much clear. Due to the interdependency on the Microsoft product ODBC driver, type 1 driver is very much compatible with only the Microsoft products like Windows operating system, not compatible with other operating systems. Not compatible with what they know, other operating systems. So by this I can give one conclusion. What is the conclusion, guys? Now observe carefully. Type 1 driver is a less portable driver. Type 1 driver is what there? Less portable driver. If it is dependent on only Microsoft products, no, can I say it's a portable driver for us? No. What is the meaning of portability? What is the meaning of portability? Portability in the sense more availability. I get my point or not? Portability in the sense what there? More availability. But what about this type 1 driver gear? Is it more available or less available? Less available. Why? Because it is interdependent on what their Microsoft product. It is interdependent on what they know, Microsoft products. Observe carefully. One more point I am asking to all of you guys. Now try to understand it. All of you know. 1 minute. Right, sir. One more example I'm telling you. Now try to understand it. In general, in companies, what's going to be happen? Listen carefully. When you have a project, maybe your team lead may give some module to you to complete it. He might be give some deadline to you. When you got that piece of the project from the team leader, team manager, whoever it may be, whoever assigned that work to you, then you have to complete that total. So we have to, after completing your implementation in your system within the deadline, you have to perform your own testing over the project. Is running fine or not? Like unit testing. Unit testing, we have to prepare your own testing. Okay. Like some number of tools are available to perform this unit testing, maybe JUnit like this. So we are able to perform your own testing. When you're satisfied about your test cases and all, about your implementation, then you may give that project to, maybe you may submit that project to the maybe next higher person, whoever you assign, whoever you got that from, whoever the project is coming for you, then you may assign that, you may submit the total implementation to the respective team leader, whoever it may be, for example. Understand it here? Okay, your team lead might be identified your product. Now it's very good, perfect, everything is okay. Then what he has to do there? Then he will allow that product or project for a deployment. Then operations team will come into the picture, or maybe server administrators will come into the picture. They will take your project and they will deploy that project into the servers, main server. Understand my point here? It is a server side application only, simply speaking. Server side application only, but in our local machine, one server is available. You checked already your application in the local server, local instance, that everything is fine. Even testing is also be completed. Then you submitted that project to the team lead. Then team lead has to allow that project into the deployment operations team. Then operations team will take that project and they are going to prepare the build and they are going to deploy that project into the main server. Maybe at main server in the sense wherever it is available, maybe at cloud or maybe here in our direct physical server, that doesn't matter for us. Somewhere else might be able to deploy that project. So I'm asking one, here 2 points are available. The project under development, The project under production. The production or maybe deployment, something else. Observe carefully. The project under development, you checked it in our local system. That means server is available in our local system. There is a single instance of the server in our local system. You checked it. After completion of your development, that operations team will deploy your project into the main server. That main server is available at somewhere else. They are going to deploy your, build everything to the main server. They are the two cases now. In our system, in our workstation, what operating system you are using there? Windows operating system we are using. That's fine. Windows is sufficient for our local development. Windows operating system we have used it. That's fine. Good. As you thought of it, JDBC driver is required in our application. You thought of it, Windows operating system I'm using there. I can configure easily ODBC driver in my local system. So already configured that ODBC driver. As per that, I have used a type 1 driver in my Windows operating system. So I checked it in my Windows operating system. The JDBC driver, type 1 driver I have used there in my local system, ODBC configuration I provided. Then finally I checked my project. My project is running successfully up to my local mission in Windows operating system. When I satisfied about my implementation, when I submit my total implementation to the operations team now, what they have to do? They have to deploy the same process. Of course, I may submit my project in the form of either jar file or maybe var file to the operations team. Then operations team has to deploy the same project into the main server or not? Can you tell me where that main server is running now? Do you think about it? Main server is running under Windows operating system? No, never, never. No server is running on Windows operating system. Windows capabilities are not sufficient for it. Where so many problems are going on. That some other time we will talk what are the problems with Windows server. Some clarity I will provide in the future. But anyway, Windows operating system is not suitable for our server side environment. For server side environment, which operating system is required there? A Linux operating system is required here. Observe carefully, Linux or Solaris or maybe depends on their requirement. They may use one operating system there. But in my project, I have used a type 1 driver now. The type 1 driver required ODBC configuration now. ODBC configuration is available in my Windows operating system. Up to my local machine, I didn't have any problem. But when I submit the same project to the operations team is trying to deploy the same project in which operating system there no Linux operating system. In a Linux operating system, my project is required ODBC driver support. But where is that ODBC driver support in Linux operating system? Are able to get that ODBC support from Linux operating system? Are able to get ODBC support from Linux operating system? No, not supported here, not suitable here. Am I right or not? Not supported here. So problem is coming or not? Where when I deploy my project onto the server machine, where I'm unable to execute my project effectively. Again, if we get back the same project, if you're trying to execute in the local machine, now it is running successfully. But when I submit that project to the operations, maybe when I deploy that into the production server, in the production server, it's not running. Where we are not using Windows operating system, where we are using Linux operating system. So problems are coming or not? Problems are coming or not? So because of the reason here, what I am telling there, type 1 driver is a type 1 driver is a suggestible for standalone applications. Suggestible for what they know? Standalone applications. Not suggestible. Now tell me guys, not suggestible for what applications you know? Not applicable. Not suggestible for what applications you know? Distributed applications or enterprise applications. Understand my point clearly? Or server side applications. Simply speaking, what they're server side applications. Distributed applications are what they know, like enterprise applications, are simply speaking server side applications. It is not suggestible because of this particular reason. Understand my point here? This is one point here. Next, before that, one more point here we have to recognize. Tell me, this type 1 driver is provided by Sun Microsystems with which intention? What is the intention of type 1 driver from Sun Microsystems now? Tell me, what is this type 1 driver actually? Type 1 driver is a showcase. Am I right or not? It's a showcase. It's a showcase. So it is for only simple JDBC applications only. It is for simple JDBC applications only, not for complex JDBC applications. Everybody understand my point here now? This is for only simple JDBC applications only. It is not for complex JDBC applications. Yes, all of you getting my point or not? Type 1 driver is a showcase. It is for only simple JDBC applications only, not for complex JDBC applications. But how can we specify my application is a simple or complex now? Once you are preparing an application there, maybe initially my requirement set might be very simple. But days goes on, whenever I'm in a maintenance part there, definitely few requirements will come automatically for me. More and more complex requirements will come there. Understand my point here? At starting point of the project, it seems it's very simple requirements I'm going to implement. But when days goes on, when requirements are increased for my client, whenever we are in maintenance part, definitely some complex requirements will come. But initially, while preparing application, if I use type 1 driver, as I thought, simple requirements only. So if I use the type 1 driver in the initial part of my project, whenever we are in maintenance, whenever new requirements are coming, when complex requirements are provided by clients, no, then there we want to change our driver. There we want to change our total environment. So we cannot decide simple requirement or complex requirement. Once you are preparing a project for a particular client, in the sense, every requirement should be a complex requirement only. Every requirement is not like simple requirement. Understand my point or not? So because of that reason also, we should not use this type 1 driver for our applications. Yes, sir, got my point or not? Okay, fine. Then what are the various points here we discussed here about this particular one? Try to understand what is the first point here I discussed here. Type 1 driver is a model or showcase or sample implementation for driver interface provided by Sun Microsystems in order to provide a platform for all the database vendors to prepare their own implementations. Next one, Sun Microsystems has provided type 1 driver in the form of sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver. Sun Microsystems has provided sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver support up to Java 1.7 version only, up to Java 7 1.0 version only. From Java 1.8 version onwards, Sun Microsystems has not provided sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver support in Java. Sun Microsystems has provided sun.jdbc.odbc.jdbc driver with the interdependency on the Microsoft product ODBC driver. With this reason, with the above reason, if you want to use type 1 driver in JDBC applications, then we have to install ODBC driver in our system. ODBC driver is an open specification to connect with the databases from type 1 driver. Type 1 driver in the sense JDBC ODBC driver only. Due to the interdependency on the Microsoft product ODBC driver, type 1 driver is very much compatible with only the Microsoft products like Windows operating system, not compatible with other operating systems. Type 1 driver is a less portable driver. How can you say less portable driver? It is bounded with only Microsoft products, not available for other operating systems. Type 1 driver is suggestible for standalone applications only, not suggestible for distributed applications or enterprise applications. Type 1 driver is a showcase. It is for only simple JDBC applications only, not for complex JDBC applications. Please remember one more point I have to provide there. One more point I have to provide, but before that, let me show one diagram. After that, I will come for that particular point here now, right? Just remind me, even if I miss that point here, just remind me. I have to clarify about these 2 points now. 1 or 2 points are available. Let's move on to the diagram here. Type 1 driver, how we are able to use this type 1 driver. Now try to understand it. What is going to be happen if we use type 1 driver internally? I'll show one simple diagram. Now this is my Java application. This is Java application. This is my database. Okay. Now get inside this, what I'm telling to you, Right, sir. Now this is like what I'm telling to you. Instead of that, okay, fine. Now this is what I'm telling to you. JDBC ODBC driver. JDBC ODBC driver. JDBC ODBC driver. Observe carefully. Then after that, here we need to have ODBC driver. Here we need to have what there? ODBC driver. Okay. This is like what I'm telling there, ODBC driver. Now, of course, here we are having database engines, but database engine I'm not specifying here in this case. No. Then simply what I'm telling there, this is like what I'm telling to you, JDBC ODBC driver. This is existed here. Now here, this is ODBC driver, which is existed. Okay, fine. Like this here, we are having drivers on JVM. I'm not representing separately, and a database engine also I'm not representing. That is not my context at present now. All right, sir. Then in this scenario, what I'm telling there, when we execute JDBC application, then that JDBC call will come to what they know, JDBC ODBC driver. Then what this JDBC ODBC driver will do now, it will translate the Java representations to, it will translate the Java representations to ODBC representations. It will translate the database logic from Java representations to ODBC representations. If we give that ODBC representations to ODBC driver, then ODBC driver will translate that ODBC representations to database representations. ODBC driver will translate that logic from ODBC representations to database representations. Now database representations are given to database engine here. In the database engine is existed. Database engine will perform the database operations. After performing all the database operations now, then it able to get some results now. The results are available in a database representation or not? The results are available in a database representation or not? Now the results are generated here. The results are available in now database representations. The database representations are given to ODBC driver. ODBC driver will send the database representations, that means results from database representations to ODBC representations. ODBC representations, then if you give that ODBC representations to JDBC ODBC driver, then it will convert that ODBC representations into Java representations. Then ODBC representations into what they know, Java representations. This is overall conversions are going to be happen. Right, sir. All of you are getting the concept here. What I'm telling to you, simple. Java application is available, database is existed. Java application and database. So between these two, at Java side, JDBC ODBC driver is available. At a database side, what is available? You know, ODBC driver is available. When we execute JDBC program, JDBC calls will be given to JDBC ODBC driver. That means that representation is available in what there? Java representations. JDBC ODBC driver will convert the database logic from Java representations to ODBC representations. Then ODBC representations are given to what there? ODBC driver. Then what ODBC driver will do now? ODBC driver will convert that logic from ODBC representations to database representations. The database representations are given to database. When we are giving that representations to the database now here database engine is able to take that representations, and a database engine is able to execute all that representations there. That means it able to execute the database logic. It will perform some database operation. It will get some results. If it is a select SQL query, it will fetch the data. It will retrieve the data from the database table. Finally, the total records, the total data is available. The results data is available in the form of database representations only. The database represented data, if we give to the ODBC driver, then ODBC driver will convert the results from database representations to ODBC representations. When we give that ODBC representations to JDBC ODBC driver, then automatically it will convert that representations from ODBC representations to Java representations. Finally, Java representations are given to Java application. Then Java application is able to display that results to the user in any of the form now. Answer my point clearly. So this is what exactly the point here. Now I'm asking one question to all of you from this. Now tell me, if you use type on driver in JDBC applications to communicate with the database from Java application, how many times conversions we required? How many times conversions we required? Overall, 2 times conversions are required or not? Just to connect with the database from Java application, to communicate with the database from Java application, how many times conversions we required? 2 times conversions we required. What are the 2 times conversions now? One is Java to ODBC. Second one is what there? ODBC to database representation. The same reverse process required in the backward direction when results are coming from database to Java application. So here 2 times conversions are performed or not? Overall 2 times conversions are performed or not? When 2 times conversions are performed, whenever 2 times conversions are performed, automatically the overall connection time or overall communication time will be increased or not? The overall interaction time is increased or not? Communication time with the database is increased or not? Understand my point here now? Definitely it is increased here now. When the overall communication time is increased, automatically overall processing time is increased for our JDBC application or not? Overall execution time will be increased or not? When overall execution time is increased, automatically performance of the application will be reduced or not? Automatically performance of the JDBC application will be reduced or not? So because of this reason here, what is the point here I'm telling there? Type 1 driver is a slower driver. Type 1 driver is what there? Slower driver. Why? What is the reason for it? Why? Because it required 2 times conversions. It required what there? 2 times conversions. What are the 2 times conversions? No, first one is like what there? Java representations to ODBC representations. Then what next one here? Apart from this, second type of conversion is what there? ODBC representations to what next one there? Database representations. ODBC representations to database representations. So because of this reason, type 1 driver is what driver here now? Is a slower driver or faster driver? Slower driver. Type 1 driver is what there? Slower driver. This is one point. Next one. Type 1 driver. Type 1 driver will reduce JDBC application performance. JDBC application performance due to the above reason. Due to the above reason. Simply I'm saying that due to the slow driver, due to the slowness, because of its slowness, because of its 2 times conversion, it is a slower driver. It may take a lot of time. So performance of the JDBC applications will be reduced. Type 1 driver will reduce JDBC application performance due to the above reasons. Yes, sir. All of you get my points here? Right, sir. Now, this is somewhat information about like what there, type 1 driver and its content clearly. Finally, now tell me, if I ask what is type 1 driver, do you have at least 6 or 7 points now? Will you give that 6 or 7 points now? What points immediately you are able to give now? Tell me. Type 1 driver, if I say the heading, what you are able to give information now? Tell me. What is the first point now? What is the first point here now? It is not an intentional implementation for the driver. It is what there now? A showcase or a model implementation or a sample implementation provided by Sun Microsystems in order to provide a platform for all the database vendors to prepare their own implementations. That's the first point here we understood. From this point, we can give one more conclusion. It is a showcase only, so it should not be used for serious JDBC applications. It should be used for only simple JDBC application, testing case, test JDBC applications only. Right, so leave this point here. Next point is what there, how Sun Microsystems has provided type 1 driver. Sun Microsystems has provided type 1 driver in the form of a predefined class. What is that predefined class there? Sun dot JDBC dot ODBC dot JDBC ODBC driver. Am I right or not? How much Sun Microsystems has maintained this type 1 driver in our Java versions? No. Up to which version of the Java? Up to JDK 1.7 version. From JDK 1.8 version onwards, type 1 driver is not available. But if my project is using 1.8 or 1.10 version there, where is a chance to use this type 1 driver? No. That's why I can say this is an outdated driver or not. This is one point here. Leave it. Okay, that is one point here. Next one is after that. How the type 1 driver was prepared by Sun Microsystems? No. Sun Microsystems has provided that type 1 driver with the interdependency on what there? The Microsoft product ODBC driver. Where what is the problem there? The problem with this particular one is what there? It is very much compatible with Microsoft products only. It is not compatible with what there? It is not compatible with other operating systems. So whenever it is not compatible with other operating systems, compatible with only Microsoft operating system there, automatically it is bounded or not? Its availability is very less or not? So it is a lesser portable driver. This driver is what there? Lesser portable driver. That's fine. Next one. Right, sir. If you are using ODBC, if you are dependent on ODBC driver, some other problems are also available. We must install ODBC driver in our system. Then only it is possible. Because of this reason, what happened there? This ODBC driver is possible with Windows operating system, not possible with a server. That means what there no other operating systems there. So in general, in the server side application development, we are not going to use Windows operating system. We are going to use a Linux operating system there, where ODBC support may not be available. So because of the reason, what is the point I'm telling there? Type 1 driver is not at all suitable for server side applications. Type 1 driver is suitable for only what type of applications? No, standalone applications where client server architecture is not existed. Right, sir. This is one point. Next one is after that. Another point here. So if you are using type 1 driver, type 1 driver is required internally. How many times conversions? No, 2 times conversions we required. What are the 2 times conversions? No, Java to ODBC, ODBC to database representations. No, whenever it is required 2 times conversions instead of 1 time conversion, automatically execution time will be increased or not? Whenever execution time is increased, automatically performance of the application will be reduced or not? So because of that reason, what is the conclusion we are giving there? Type 1 driver will reduce JDBC applications performance. Type 1 driver will reduce JDBC applications performance. Because of that reason, not at all suitable to use for our application development. That's it. Then we have to go for like what there? Type 2 driver information. Right, sir? Anyway, then 5 more minutes of time is remaining there, but still I'll discuss about this topic on tomorrow. Remaining drivers information I'll discuss with you on tomorrow. Tomorrow we are able to get the total content. Is it required to share document today or tomorrow? Today only. We are totally tuned for copy paste operation. Right, sir. Just give a minute of time. Let me share this total document. Right, and what is it? Today's date? 8th. 22. Guys, up to this theoretical, it's okay. You can relax, no problem. But once if I start JDBC programming, every day practice is required. Without practice, if you want to understand the total content in the sense, not at all possible. Not at all possible. So definitely practice is mandatory, and every day when I see every day minimum 2 to 3 applications I'm going to prepare. That examples on that day you have to complete. First JDBC application is the toughest part. First JDBC application is the toughest part. Try to understand it now. Right, sir. First JDBC application is the toughest part. Once if we complete this first JDBC application, then remaining JDBC applications are very simple. So because of that reason, on first day, minimum 2 to 3 applications I will provide. Of course, maybe first application may take some time, even for me also, to show every point here. But if we understand that pattern, the same pattern we are going to use throughout the JDBC now. So it will be very simple for us. Moreover, at the one point, what we are going to provide there at one point, whenever I'm trying to type the program, automatically you are giving all instructions in that program. In that way, we are going to be habituated. So up to theoretical, it's okay. Then just look on this theory and try to remember some required points here. But once the programming is started, then everybody has to practice. One point. Moreover, core Java is a more theory, less practice. Core Java is what there, more theory, less programming. But advanced Java is what there, less theory, more programs. Lesser theory, more in the very starting mode only this much of theoretical information I'm giving. Once the programming is started there, because of one simple point, I have to write entire program. One simple change, I have to write entire program there. In that way, the programs will come now. So there we are going to see the total programming content here, right? That's all, guys. That's all for today. Then tomorrow we are going to discuss and we are going to understand the remaining content tomorrow. Thank you. Thanks a lot.